Hey everyone, welcome to a special edition of Late Night Exclusive here. We are live via DTA podcast all over basically. We are here. I'm by myself, Peter Parker here. So give you guys a little late night exclusive. As you guys see with the headlines, there is a lot going on in the world of wrestling per usual. I wouldn't come on if it wasn't. And tonight we're talking about WWE in this pandemic situation. It looks like they're going to be canceling events. I think they don't have a choice. We're going to talk about that. And also, I was fascinated over the weekend about an event that went down with basically Mexico was popping. And shout out to everyone who participated in Triple Mania this past weekend. I'm not really here to give the results, but I will do that in another video separately or maybe on the podcast. But I'm here to talk tonight about what the man of the hour, literally, and someone else as well. It was a great show the other night. And I really hope you all check it out once this video's over. But yeah, so I'm getting quick right now. You guys can tweet me at EJP CEO Corner and chat with me if you guys want, or you could tweet us at DTA Podcast, the handle. If you got any like questions after the video, whatnot. But yeah, come chat with us and share your thoughts with this, because this is not going to be the end of the situation. And so yeah, so just want to do a quick check-in with everyone. I'm doing all right, with what's going on with the coronavirus. Every now and again when I check in, I want to make sure that I'm being a little personable with you guys. But the news here is a lot, and some good, some bad. But I think it's going to be worthwhile. Once you get real information, because there's a lot of stuff out there from people who, let's just say, want clicks and stuff. And I don't really fall in that barrier, so I want to be someone you guys can trust. And with credible information, basically. But yeah, the latest is that it definitely looks like they're going to make that decision. Back to the the original situation with WWE. And when this story hit my desk, I was a little baffled by it. And as anyone would, because I was like, wait, what are you talking about, canceling events? What does that mean? And I'm sure everyone listening right now is like, what the hell are you talking about? This guy just is running his mouth. No. This is facts. This is actual information that's out there. And I think it's definitely something that, we as a community need to talk about. Yeah. And so yeah, guys, basically WWE is going to be moving forward with this situation. Right now, this is being reported here, but I am running with it here with you guys. Let me put this story up on the screen full so you guys can see right here. Yeah, so WWE may not return to live events with the pandemic. That is one of the top stories right now. And so we are getting right into the meat and potatoes. And I just want to share this, but yeah, so this story hit my desk the other day, and it came from our good friends over at 411 Mania. Shout out to you guys. And the headline says it all right here. WWE may not return to live events when pandemic is over. And this is really groundbreaking. I had to take a step back and just really take it all in. Like, this is interesting. This is really interesting. And this is, everyone's taking in a hit right now due to COVID, due to the pandemic. So I'm not going to act like I am completely shocked or surprised about this, but I am gonna sit here and try to take it all in with you guys, and make sure that this is big. This is big, and I don't know exactly what the fallout would be, but because that does leave a door open. You know, and right now you have a lot of companies trying to figure out what to do with the next phase of 2021 with professional wrestling. You have a lot of companies trying to make way, and right now the WWE is you know, they don't have no live fans right now, you know, except for NXT. You know, that's on Wednesdays, but Monday and Fridays with Raw and SmackDown, they are, you know, no fans, just the Thunderdome. And so yeah, it's interesting how they're running things. And they just moved to the Tropicana Center arena, with Tropicana Arena out in Florida. They left the Amway Center after having a contract with them for not too long. So they're making waves with this pandemic, just like AEW. You know, shout out to Ring of Honor. I saw that their pure tournament was fantastic. Shout out to the winner of that pure tournament. And yeah, so every company, AEW, Impact, they're all doing what they got to do. MLW, everyone is trying to make way with this pandemic, but specifically with WWE, it looks like that they are going to be considering putting a hold on the events. And I don't know exactly if that means forever, but I'm going to read this story here. Again, shout out to 411 Mania for this story here, and it goes on and says here, and shout out to the person that wrote the story, Joseph Lee. It goes on and says here that WWE has been without touring schedule ever since COVID-19 pandemic started, with their events happening either at the Performance Center or the Thunderdome. At the Amway Center, which I just mentioned to you guys. But the latest reports are saying that talent in the WWE has been told that the old way of touring will not happen whenever the U.S. returns to normal. I'll say that again. WWE has a lot of talent has been told that the old way of touring will not happen whenever the U.S. returns to normal. That's very important right there at the end of that sentence. It goes on and says, one of the signs that they are moving in the right direction, moving in the direction of having no or few live events happening last week when a dozen employees were released. As you guys can see, this article came out in November. And so, yeah, they've been releasing people since April with Black Wednesday. Again, guys, you guys could tweet me at EJPC Corner or tweet us at DJ Podcast. You know, we're on Facebook, Instagram, chat with us. But yeah, so this is interesting. You know, I still have more to go here, but a lot of things seem to be a domino effect. But so yeah, so it goes on here and says the company is currently setting record profits without doing live events. So they fare around it. So they're not necessarily losing money, and they're not necessarily even, you know, gaining really, but there are setting record profits from offsetting other stuff. You know, I'll talk about that in another video, but predominantly, you know, live events, they merch, and now the merch is selling really, really well. That's a big component for them. But they weren't making money with the live events even prior. We're going to talk about that before we wrap this part up. And it goes on, just completing what I said. Prior to that, house shows had not been making as much money, and we're starting to see as a money loser for WWE. It goes on and says house shows are more seen as a way for talent to develop more experience and for the company to sell merchandise and cultivate more fans. However, when the house shows went away, the WWE merchandise numbers went up, guys. So exactly what I'm saying. Like, you know, I've been reading so many reports on that. So it makes sense that everyone is saying the same thing. It goes on and says here, the development of wrestlers is more of the problem with NXT, as the wrestlers on the main roster are said to be doing fine with the reduced schedule. In fact, the schedule has less to wear on the body, and which means fewer injuries and longer careers, hopefully. So this has benefits. You know, some good, some bad. You know, and I think, again, this is something that we as a community, wrestling community, #wrestling community, need to figure out and, you know, adjust to the times. Just ginger ale tonight, keeping it cute. But this is interesting because they already told the talent, so it's definitely happening. And you know, it's just a sign of the times. Like I said, that the house shows have been dwindling down. Not many people have been going to the house shows. I know some people who go religiously. Unfortunately, that's not enough. WWE has been going in a decline for the past decade regarding house shows. They've been kind of losing a lot of money, hemorrhaging. For those that watch Raw on a weekly basis, Raw and SmackDown, we've seen the empty spots with the hard camera. They try to keep it focused with the hard cam, but when they pull out, we see the empty spots at the top rows where they put the little black light up there. We all know how to do it, so it's very. And Impact does the same thing. A lot of them do the same thing when they have no like seats missing of live shows. When fans were there but not sold out. So, but to have a long stretch for WWE to do, they did approximately like 300 shows a year. And so you think about that. Think about that math. Well, approximately 300 shows a year, 365 days in 1 year. That is a lot of wear and tear on the body. And as I just spoke about this article, like now the wear and tear is kind of lesser because they are not required to work as much. However, there's financial issues with that. And now it all makes sense on why Vinnie Mac did the new contracts with the wrestlers and did the Twitch and Cameo edict. So that's just like what more do you have to say about that? Like, so all this is interesting. All this is snowballing into something, I promise you. And we're going to see exactly what is going to transpire. Pay attention to what's happening. Don't listen to what WWE say. Watch what they do. And I'm going to keep saying that because they do a lot of things on a sneaky tip, but they put out these corporate PR mumbo jumbos, throw out their bootlickers to make it seem like the company's going great. All the bootlickers, Paul Heyman, all of them, Booker T, all the lickers out there, all you guys that want to continue to portray this image that things are great backstage. And if it's so great, then why did I just report in my last video that Xavier Woods is looking for his exit plan? Xavier Woods, he's younger than me. I just turned 35 and he's looking for his exit plan. I mean, this is what they're doing in the business right now because things are changing. It's evolving. Wrestlers are realizing that they're more than just wrestlers. They are actually people who move merchandise. And that is what we're talking about. They are people who are able to finesse the system and make money for the system, but they don't have any rights. Per se, if they want to go and, I don't know, do what I'm doing, like YouTube. And no, you can't do that with WWE. You can't do that with Vince McMahon because he's just a sociopath. Let's just call it what it is. He's an egotistical, maniacal sociopath, and he would do anything. He's craven with power. And, you guys go to my page, DTA Podcast on YouTube. We got the clip of Andrew Yang calling him out, former presidential candidate. So the heat is turned up. And when you turn the heat up on a sociopath, oh baby, best believe he's throwing darts at everyone. So right now it's either you with us or you're against us. And that's unfortunately what happened to Zelina Vega. Looks like the next is going to happen to her husband, Aleister Black. We have not seen him on television. And I don't think he's going to stay with this company when you just kicked my damn wife out. You kicked my wife out because she tweeted that she support unionization. And Vince McMahon had the audacity to escort Zelina Vega out the damn building because she chose to pursue other endeavors while she's not working at this company. As you guys just heard me read, they were reducing schedules. They are possibly ending the WWE are possibly ending. And so if you guys are not going to return to live events, then wrestlers who are not being booked right now, they have to find ways to make means to make a living. And you cannot sit there and just say that, oh, well, you're on Twitch right now and you're making money. Well, you know what? That's part of your contract now. You can't do that. You can't sit there and take money from a third party. And granted, he could do what he wants because it's his company. But theoretically, from the whole perspective of ethics and working and labor rights, like that is unethical. Nobody should have the rights to control what people make outside of the company. That's like if you work at a gas station and you get an extra job that's totally off the books, after hours, and that gas station is saying, hey, we want a part of that money. That's exactly what he's doing because they own your likeness. You got to read the contracts. Wrestlers, unfortunately, they're starving, you know, literally and sometimes figuratively, you know, for a check, for fame, for that exposure with WWE. But clearly you see that they are considering altering their ways of doing so. And now they're moving everything, guess what? Overseas. So there you go. Shout out to you, NXT India. That'll be happening in January. Follow what they do, not what they say. Okay. But yeah, so what we're gonna do here, guys, we're gonna take a quick break. And when we come back here on this late night exclusive presented to you by DTA Podcast here, we are going to talk about what's going on in the world of Lucha Libre. And apparently, we had a partnership like we've never seen before. And I think that this is another precipice of the continuation of wrestling, the evolution of professional wrestling. And it's very interesting because now you have, you know, a brand that's a long-standing brand in Mexico that has been around, and now they are looking to make some serious moves. And I am here for it. And shout out to everyone who is a part of this. Shout out to everyone who was a part of Triple Mania last night. It was absolutely fantastic. You guys can check that out. Triple Mania is probably clips on YouTube. Lucha Libre, look for them on Facebook, and I'm sure they have it on their Twitch as well. It's very interesting. And so what I'm going to do, as I said, when we come back, I'm going to break that down for you guys and tell you who was wrestling last night, who was under the mask, and how this whole thing formed, and what's my opinion on the future of wrestling. Because this is very interesting. You know, you got AEW doing their other thing. I mean, doing one thing. You know, just had Sting. Now they have Shaq is coming. Snoop Dogg is on his way. You know, a lot of these celebrities, AEW is gaining their realms into pop culture. You know, and you have, like I mentioned, like I said, Ring of Honor. They're doing their tournament thing, getting back into what works. You know, you got MLW with the hashtag the restart. We're going to talk about that in a future video, but it's a lot happening in the world of professional wrestling. And also shout out to independent wrestling. You know, everyone's been doing their damn thing. Last night was the fantastic Synergy Pro Wrestling. They had the Garden State Woman Invitational Tournament. And shout out to my homegirl, Tasha Stills. She is an amazing young wrestler, Boricua, you know, person of color, and she's handling that. She's holding it down, you know, in the ring, outside the ring. Shout out to Culture Season. Yeah, it was fantastic. She, you know, spoiler alert, we have a winner. Yeah, so I you know, put those two together and you can know who won. But it was great. Check it out, guys. And like I said, we'll be right back with what's going down with Lucha Libre and Marvel. Yeah, so let me do this for you guys. All right, so we'll be right back. Hey, we are back, guys. We are back here for another edition of well, the follow-up to this edition, but another story here for you guys. So stick around for this one here. So Here we go. We have the Marvel and AAA here partnering up, and Lucha Libre, as I mentioned. And this is awesome. I cannot say it enough. And once again, as I said, shout out to everyone who was involved with this. So we got the Marvel Lucha Libre edition. And this is, as I said, awesome. So this started out in October. Shout out to superluchas.com. And basically, it says here that, this was, because this event, Triple Mania, was supposed to go down in August, but obviously Corona, things got pushed aside. So, now they decided to do the event as of last night. And you literally have Marvel Universe partnering up with a professional wrestling company, and not any company in America. They're partnering up with Lucha Libre, guys. Lucha Libre, and what they're doing here, they are basically creating characters, professional wrestling characters from their Marvel universe. It's incredible. You got the Arcano, Terra Purpura, Leyenda Americana, and Venenoid. Those are the characters, and last night was the event of Triple Mania. And when I tell you who are the people involved in this, you're going to be shocked. And guys, one of the people that was involved with this here was none other than my guy, the man of the hour, that being none other than the one and only Lio Rush. So Lio Rush right here. The man of the hour, who's been everywhere. If you've been following wrestling, he's been everywhere in the past couple of days. We got another video coming out, which is about that story. This past weekend was not only historic for Lucha Libre in Mexico, wrestling and all the luchadors and whatnot, and all the exoticos out there. Shout out to you, Cassandro. But it's another big thing that happened, which has to deal with what I like to call hashtag Black equity in professional wrestling. There was a lot of great things that happened this weekend. We're going to talk about that in the video later on this week. So stick around for that. Put us in your notifications, guys. You don't want to miss that. So Lio Rush was one of the wrestlers who was here. Last night, and he played the wrestler Arcana, which was based on a Spider-Man character. For those that are the nerds and like, yeah, I know that. So we're putting all the pieces together here. But yeah, and that was incredible. Like I said, and Lio Rush, man, I can't say it enough. Like, he has been just on a rise since the whole firing and Black Wednesday this past April. And I support the hell out of him. He's someone who I actually look up to. And I think that Lio Rush is someone who is going to be the future of professional wrestling. And I cannot wait to see what he do. And, to that story of Lio Rush, there was a story that went around about Lio Rush, and it's just interesting that that it's all happening now. So there was a story that went around that said that Lio Rush would be great for the Lucha Libre scene, and now literally it's all happening. I wish I had this story up right now, but he, this man has been through a lot, like many wrestlers who've been in and out that damn company. And, I support Lio. I support him. He's making the great moves. He was just in Japan the other night. So he's being booked, some of the greatest performances of his career, people are saying. I even agree. And I think this time he's going to do it right without anybody in his ear telling him he's not worth it. You guys want to know more about the Lio Rush story, you guys could do your research. I spoke about it on DTA podcast last season. I believe it's episode 18, 17 or 18. There you go. Maybe 19. I'm not sure, but yeah. So, but in that order, one of those. But yeah, and you guys could check that out in our links there. But so yeah, so it's interesting. that he popped up, and I wish I could find that damn story, but it was a great story. I might do another video and add to that. But so like I said, Leo Rush was not the only one. There was more people that showed up in the Marvel mask and the characters and whatnot. And one of the other people is someone from a whole nother promotion, that being that being Tony Khan's promotion, AEW. And I, for one, I was like, okay, I see this, I see it. So we have Brian Cage, who was Tortua Purpura, which is based on Thanos' character and portrayed by Brian Cage here. And then we had someone by the name, I'm sure you guys would be familiar with this face. He's a Mexico superstar, Daga, but he's big in America right now because he's signed with Impact Wrestling. Been doing some great things. He's currently, I don't know what the status is with Impact, but he is recently married to Tessa Blanchard. So congratulations to you. I'm glad that he was able to get work, but he played the character Leyenda Americana, which was based on Captain America, and that was portrayed by here Daga. And then lastly, we had Vianoid, which is based on Venom, and that was portrayed by Black Taurus here, who obviously you could tell the character, the look, the feel, everything is what you get, what it gives. But this was incredible, guys. Like I said, this was an event that I don't think no one knew what to expect. And I for one am just like still in awe actually of just what happened and just the whole situation, to be honest with you. And I can't wait to see what's next. I can't wait to see like just how they continue to turn it out. But yeah, and it goes on. It says here, I think it was one of the starting matches of last night. And it goes on. It says, following the bout, a character based on Captain Marvel appeared, stated that this was just the beginning, who has not yet confirmed her identity. As I told you guys back in October, they launched this. And according to the press release, they go and say here, oh, okay, yeah. Disney goes and says here, guys know that Disney owns everything, including Marvel. And it goes on and says here, this collaboration with AAA represents an opportunity to participate in an iconic part of Mexican culture, such as wrestling, and offering attractive content and experiences to the whole family that can be further celebrated with spectacular consumer products inspired by this discipline, which is valuable for fans and consumers, said Louis Lamelli, head of licensing and consumer products at the Walt Disney Company in Mexico. And so it's interesting that like Disney is all in. And it goes on and says here, while developing these storytelling and content creation initiatives, the premise has been to stay true to the essence of Mexican wrestling at all times by bringing together AAA's experience in terms of wrestling and Marvel's experience in terms of story and character development. That is goddamn true, because Marvel knows how to do the damn thing, seriously. And the potential of wrestling is unlimited. Its quality, color, and talent are increasingly valued in the world. Based on this unique and original creative platform, we will develop different product lines such as clothing, footwear, and accessories, toys, household, and school items. Wow. So and it says part 1 of that alliance is officially in the books. So guys, this is huge. So when I say that, that the landscape is shifting right now, it's shifting because guess what? Disney was supposed to purchase. There was a lot of rumors going on. WWE is up for sale, and it was between Disney, NBC Universal, and I forget the last one. I think Fox. There you go. So that and clearly nothing happened because of the pandemic, but Disney made other moves now, and this is huge because don't sleep on AAA. They get millions of views, millions of bites. Last night they had almost 100,000 or more people watching on the Twitch. Like it was lit. And I saw it. I went on a timeline with everyone. I love going on #wrestling Twitter. That is what I do. And chat with the fans and just get everyone like, we get hyped. And it was amazing. You love wrestling. You love wrestling, period. It doesn't matter who promoting and who, like, we don't watch wrestling for Vince McMahon. So get that out of your damn head if that's how people feel. Like, we watch for the wrestlers. And last night was incredible. Shout out to everyone. And little fact here, I found out that Conan actually created Triple A. So that was weird. I was like, what? I didn't even know that. Yes, Conan, the Mexican legend Conan. It's interesting with the K. So yeah, guys. What I'm going to do real quick, because I have another special little thing here. We're going to talk about this WWE situation a little furthermore here. We're going to break down something interesting here. And we're going to talk about exactly how this affects everything. And I think you guys are going to be really interested with that. And after that, we're going to wrap up this show and see you guys on the next one. But yeah, so like I said, what I'm gonna do is take another quick break, and we're gonna come back with more about this WWE canceling event. And I have some statistics and analysis to break this down for you guys. And we're gonna talk about it next on here. DTA Podcast presents Late Night Exclusive. Hey, and we are back once again, guys, here at DTA Podcast real quick. And boy, do I have some statistics for you, some breakdown for you real quick. Once again, the main story for today was WWE, or should I say tonight, depending when you're watching this, today, tonight, tomorrow. WWE is going through a situation right now, and it's very, very serious. And right now they're going to be look like they're going to be canceling these events moving forward. And it's very interesting on how they are going to be handling this. And as I mentioned, I have a great little data for you guys and a breakdown. But real quick, I want to give a really big shout out to the one and only Brandon Thurston. Shout out to you over there at WrestleNomics for this exclusive information here. And I'm going to break this down for you guys real quick. So he goes on here with this reporting from WrestleNomics.com. It is the exclusive place for research, analysis, breakdowns on professional wrestling and the entire industry. Fantastic work. And so he goes on and says here something called SWAT Analysis. And SWAT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And I'm going to go through this, one by one real quick here. And it says here, starting here with the strengths, I'm going to hit some points here, not all of it. But the strength here says wide margin, leader in name ID among pro wrestling brands. WWE has a well-established global appeal and distribution. If you know any pro wrestling brand, you likely know WWE. Its programming is on TV in many countries around the world, more widely than any wrestling brand. Pre-COVID, it's the only company that does such broad international tours. This factor is a benefit to establishing and maintaining business partnerships, adopting fans, and succeeding in talent recruitment. This factor poses a challenge to any wrestling competitor. And it goes on and says here, strong financial outlook, as I mentioned earlier in the video, large guaranteed revenue sources from long-term agreements for broadcasting rights and twice annual events for Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. That's a whole nother situation there. Makes the majority of the company's revenue stable and predictable. Get into that, guys. The money's coming from TV deals, licensing. If you see, WWE's everywhere, Peacock here, there, and also overseas. Then Saudi Arabia getting that 50 million per show, and then they got what you call, no, I think it's 10 million per show, sorry. And then they got India with NXT. They tried to do Japan. Japan said no, sorry. So so then it goes on. It says it established direct-to-consumer streaming video service. WWE Network itself is not just a revenue source, but a value asset and a direct line to sell consumers its vast library of new and old content to compete for time and to build loyalty. But I think that there's some evidence that they may be in some trouble with that. We're going to talk about that later on in this week, maybe next Sunday for Sunday Night Wrestling officially. We'll be back. I may break that down for you guys because I saw reports that they had lost major subscribers after Survivor Series because they're giving it for 99 cents, thinking that's going to keep people. And the free people who get free and for 99 cents, they're not subscribing $9.99 after that. So we're going to figure that one out. But it goes to the weakness. And one of the ones it says here, which I'm going to point out very vividly, head of creative is controlling shareholder, chairman, and CEO. I will say that again. I will say it again for people in the back. This is one of the weaknesses. Head of creative is the controlling shareholder, chairman, and CEO. Due to Class B shares granting him 10 times voting power over all shareholders who aren't McMahon family members. Vince McMahon can sell his ownership down to a small minority of all his shares and still control the majority of the voting power. Vince seems determined to control the creative direction of WWE most valued content for the rest of his life. Under the direction that the company core content has disenfranchised some fans and some talent for years. This has exacerbated in the last few years as an alternative wrestling brands have gained in global appeal. Shout out to you, AEW. Shout out to MLW. Shout out to all you guys, New Japan. You guys are doing a damn thing. AEW sold out in, not sold out. The overseas in UK, the numbers are through the roof. They have the highest rated show out there. And then also MLW is making these licensing deals like this company, but smarter ones, I guess, because I see them all over, everywhere. I think they just did one in France, Italy, it's nonstop. But that's awesome. And so people are learning. They're studying, they're learning, and a lot of people are from this company too. So the owner of MLW, Court Bauer, used to work for WWE. So he sat there and saw this maniacal man that's Vinnie Mac, and then was like, you know what, I could do it better. And shout out to you, Court Bauer. I think what you're doing is awesome. I gotta watch that match next week with ACH and ACH and Myron Reed. No, Leo Rush and Myron Reed. Sorry, Leo Rush and Myron Reed is going to be fighting. It's funny because I'm actually playing him in the background. Shout out to you, Myron Reed. You guys want to hear this track in the background? This track is called Woo. And you get that on Spotify. Kid Reed, Bangers Forever is the project. So that was interesting. Now we get to opportunities. So we're going to go here to where it says gaming investments. And if gaming space is the next frontier in new media, WWE may benefit from investing. The company has more cash than usual on its balance sheet. There are obvious synergies possible. WWE has a long history of selling its IP licenses and console gaming, and more recently for mobile games. WWE's overall consumer base is probably disproportionately interested in gaming. Hell yes. But again, we spoke about it earlier in the first video. If they can't control it, they ain't doing it. So be interested to see how that's going to work, because they do have them in these games. and that's fair, but they should be able to do what they want to do outside. So unless they want to start their own gaming company, which I doubt it. And finally, the threats. And it goes on, it says, finally here, emerging competing wrestling brands. All Elite Wrestling is the company's strongest direct competitor since World Championship Wrestling closed in 2001. AEW is less than 2 years old, but already has strong distribution. TNT domestically and other Warner Media Networks internationally. Worthy leadership and superior consumer credibility among its smaller audience. The potential alignment in the timing of WWE and AEW TV contract negotiations may result in unfavorable comparisons. WWE also competes for talent and to a lesser extent, market share with other companies like New Japan, Impact, and Ring of Honor. Competition from other wrestling companies has immediately resulted in an increase in the cost of talent and in the quantity of the talent WWE keeps under contract. And finally, one of the other threats here is the COVID-19. And I think they could put this threat on all the companies. But if this company fails, it says a lot about the industry. And it goes on, it says here, the ongoing pandemic continues to threaten WWE's media content and businesses of its partners. COVID has created uncertainty for live event business and wiped out an always lucrative WrestleMania week. The company media's content is compromised by preventing live audiences from being in attendance, which negatively affects the quality of the content. COVID may also impact consumers broadly, although WWE's DTC, which is direct to consumer business, like the WWE Network and online merchandise sales has held up so far. So you guys want to read more on this, you guys can go on about, with the WrestleNomics and get that there. But lastly, we're going to end with this one here is the last threats that they have here is, and I'm going to be brief with this one, is employee, contractor, and other possible legal challenges. While none of the ongoing litigation WWE is involved in appears to pose a great threat, the company's greatest legal liability is probably in its continued classification of wrestlers as independent contractors, while exuding great control over their work. There are no active lawsuits of this nature. Statutes of limitation to performers' desire to stay on good terms with the company even after termination are a deterrent. Again, they do everything they can to keep you there. And furthermore, WWE stated plans to expand training centers and developmental brands into territories throughout the world. Paul Levas, aka Triple H, is the head of global marketing strategy, will likely require a growing number of contracted wrestlers, thus increasing the population of potential plaintiffs. Here it goes. WWE can reduce this risk either by reducing the degree of control it holds over the talent. Right. Or by converting wrestlers, there are around 300 of them, from contractors to employees, which he could. And WrestleNomics broke that down too. It would cost about $30 million for healthcare, all that stuff. And it's interesting because there's a video out about Chris Jericho and everyone talking about how Tony Khan pays for their traveling expenses and stuff. They never got that in WWE. And these wrestlers been there for almost 20 years. It is just how it works. It's the culture, but it doesn't mean it has to stay like that. Yeah, guys, and there you have it. They broke it down. I think I gave you guys enough information on this. We went a little long with this video here. But I want to give you guys enough information on, what's going on in the world of professional wrestling. I like to give detailed analysis myself, as you guys can see. I hope you guys take all of that with, the notion that, this is nothing is permanent. However, when it comes to the economy, when something falls flat, it's a domino effect. So again, as I end this video, and I say it again to you guys, is to watch what they do, not what they say. Once again, guys, you could tweet us here at DTA Podcast, or you can follow me at EJP CEO Corner. I'm everywhere, even Pinterest, Tumblr. Tumblr, no. But at EJP CEO, I'm on Pinterest, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. But yeah, guys, you guys can follow me there, and I'll see you guys on the next video here at DTA Podcast, exclusively on YouTube and everywhere else.